Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live, and I'm starting at 7 o'clock today. What is happening? Are you gonna come sit with me, buddy? On your bed? Good boy. Settle. There's good boy. Sorry, we're just getting him situated here and we're gonna get going. All right, welcome to the live, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Last week we worked a little bit on a really fun illustration that I enjoyed working on quite a bit. Actually, we can probably pop it up here. It's not done yet. I was going to work on it a little bit more today, on the weekend and everything, just for my own personal things, but I didn't get quite to it. But this is what we worked on last week. Really fun idea, really cool concept. I was showing some people this last week when I was at Hello Maker, and just kind of showing off a little bit some of the work that I've been doing, and people really liked this one. So I'm going to keep working on it a little bit, but just off the side. We won't do this today. But I just want to show where that was at for those of you who missed last week. And then this week, I actually did work on the sketch for my next 2-month illustration. I finally got to sit and work on it and get to something that I really enjoyed. This topic this illustration has given me a couple iterations. I had to work through a few different things to get where I wanted with it, and I finally, I think, got a sketch that I really like. So we're going to work on some line art today. But I'm very excited to reveal this to you guys. I'm so excited to work on this one. So we are going to do a dragon. I'm so excited. As soon as I knew I was going to do these really big illustrations with these stained glass ones, I knew a dragon had to be here at some point. So I'm definitely really stoked about this. So we have some good bare bones here for some line art. So today we're going to work on the line art, really work through it and try and get something together. And then we're going to see where it goes, because I think the face is a little thin for me right now, but I also think it's in a pencil sketch, so I don't know how it'll look with the dark lines. So we're going to be doing lots of layers today so that I can kind of play around and make things mash together. Hello, Odari. Welcome to the live. I saw your message come in. I saw it this morning. I just had to go to work before I could reply to it. So I do owe you a message, sir. I am totally down to collaborate on your cover. I'm very excited. But I'll send you a separate message so that we can have a bit of a chat, because I'm very excited. I missed the stream this weekend, so I missed your last character. But I'll definitely go back and catch up for sure. Okay, so we are going to go to, oops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I want to go to a new layer, and we're going to use the vector brush And we're going to make sure that I didn't turn a bunch of things off, because I want to make sure no pressure dynamics. I want this to be, oops. Yes, okay. I just want to make sure that the pressure dynamics are not on, because I want these to be very uniform lines as I put them down. So the pressure dynamics on the pencil are what you've seen me do in the past, where like you might see me kind of like do a light stroke and it go off, and in a single stroke there'll be lots of different pressures, so it'll be really thin or really thick. I don't want that for this, because this is the main line art that's going to support the stained glass. So I want to make sure it's a very uniform thing, otherwise it's going to be a headache and you guys are going to watch me draw lines over and over and over again, and that's not fun. So there are a few areas in this that I am happy with the shape of, so I'm going to start with those, and then we're going to build out and see if we need a wider face or what's going on. But right around where the eyes are and the nose and stuff, I'm super stoked about that. So we're going to start with those first, and then we'll see if we build them out, because I've opened this file a couple times throughout the day. I've done my normal checking to make sure that it's where I want it to be, and sometimes it looks narrow, and then I opened it just as I was shutting down my computer at work. I opened it up and I'm like, no, it's perfect, and then I open it up now and it looks narrow, so we'll see where we go with it. So this is going to be a building process. A little bit on the sketch. I drew, because a lot of the reference that I was looking at for this kind of thing is like, I wanted the dragon to be straight on. That was a key thing that I wanted. I wanted that dynamics of him staring straight at us. I did a lot of the illustration on one side of the face. So the right side of the screen is where most of my sketch went. And then I mirrored some of it. Most of it I mirrored over. You can see like some things like the little like goatee beard thing isn't quite there, and then like the kind of wispy little bits, I drew them in after. But the rest of this is very symmetrical, which I think works really well. I think it's really cool, but also a little kind of like a little rigid. So I'm gonna, like when we draw it out today, I'm gonna try not doing too much mirroring. I'm gonna try and let each kind of side of the face build its own thing. Thanks so much, Odari. I'm very excited about this. I've always wanted to draw dragons, and it's one of those things that I feel like for some reason I feel like it's hard to just kind of like dive into it for some reason. Like dragons, it's like one doesn't just draw a dragon. One kind of like there's so much history and like elements to a dragon, and like, do you draw like a hobbit dragon? Do you draw a Chinese style dragon? Do you do whatever? So I tried to use a lot of different reference. Not a lot of Chinese dragon here, but some elements kind of like the mustache and the beard, that kind of came in a little bit. But I didn't want to imitate a particular style, because I'm already having such a stylistic approach with my stained glass, that I just don't want to kind of step on a different style. I want to also kind of use my own. So I'm just laying down a vector stroke. Now let me just, can I do, just trying to think of the thickness of the lines here, that maybe we do 4-point stroke, because I want to be very uniform in how I lay this down. So I think a 4 will be good here. So we're going to be using a lot of, oh, that was pretty nice. We're going to be using a lot of the feature that Fresco has here, where when you push on the pencil and you hold it, it'll kind of like snap it to a circle. Actually, we can do that right here. I did this for this pencil sketch. I did not draw this oval, this nice and round first go. You just push and hold, so you draw your shape as close to it as you can, and then hold your pencil at the end, and it closes that shape for you. this is one of the coolest features, especially for something like this that's like going to be a jewel of some sort, that you want it to be that kind of perfect roundness. It comes out really nicely. Okay, I'm just very excited about this. So what else did we do this week? So, I think I was talking last week that I was going to Hello Maker, after, like the day after last live, and I'm obsessed. I went in, I'm like, we're gonna be best friends. This is gonna happen. So this is a local, kind of community art space that went up this year, and I am very excited to be a part of this because I don't find I have, well, I do have like a good art community, but I feel like here in where I am that we don't have a lot of the same stuff that I'm used to from when I was in like art school. So like it's a nice kind of creative space where other creatives are hanging out and spending some time and energy together. So I think that's what this space is going to be for me. But I went to a session that they were holding last week, and it was women who are self-employed in the crafting industry. So we had people who work with leather, people who work with jewelry, all different kinds of areas, and just seeing how, what happened there? That was Trixie. And then how they're kind of building their business and things. So it's interesting to see what local artists are doing right now. So just fun to hear from people doing something a little different than I'm doing, which is kind of fun. I love that feature. I hate drawing circles. It's my kryptonite. I hear you, and I have so much like flowy art in my sketches and everything. There's always some sort of like swirly, almost circle something. It just kind of always happens. But yeah, like every swirl you've seen, I drew it like 10 times before I got to the one that went there, because yeah, I always like without fail will like bump my elbow into something, or I'll catch, like what I'm doing right now, catching the edge of the iPad with my wrist, so it's like pulling me off to the side. So that feature in fresco is one of my favorites. It's pretty awesome. And if you ever do it by accident, like, and you don't want it to happen, you just can click the undo button and it will undo. It'll go back to its smooshy self if you prefer that. So I'm kind of thinking like lots of jewels and stuff. He doesn't have as much like jewelry as I was initially anticipating, but I can build that up when I continue drawing through here. I got the sketch about as far as I wanted to for bare bones, and then I thought, well, let's see how it comes together with the line art, and we will see what needs to be added or taken away. And I only have right now the dragon as kind of a main piece, which is a little different from some of the other ones. So like the ball gown and the kraken had those little like added elements kind of like around it. I don't have anything like that here yet, but again, I thought I'd see. At first I thought it'd be like a lot of detail in the dragon face alone, and I didn't want to overshadow it, but also again wanted to see what the balance looks like and how we were gonna bring it all together. Oh dear. Oh, I'm impressed that that went to a full circle. That was a very wiggly line. Well done, Fresco. Well done. Oh, I guess this isn't a... There's just a little dot out there that was gonna go missing. So these little things that sometimes like sneak into the illustration, and if you don't clean them up right away, they're gonna stay there for some time. Like I was going in and cleaning up the Kraken. I'm getting it ready to print. And so I'm just like cleaning up some little shadows that got missed and like just little things like that. There's a couple of things in there that are really big misses on my part. I don't know what happens. But like it makes the illustration look really good. So I'm leaving it, but just cleaning that up a little bit. But lots of little lines that you just kind of forget to go back to. A big illustration like this kind of like takes up a lot of space, so it's hard to catch everything. I don't know that this would go all the way down here. Let's do that. All right. So those of you just tuning in, we're using Fresco on the iPad. Vector brush right now, no pressure sensitivities. Just getting the line art out for our lovely dragon here so that we can get some more stained glass madness underway. Now, I'm kind of feeling like this is like really dramatic, really like a little too thick, so I'm thinking we might do maybe like this instead. There we go. And then we can do don't like that so much. A little smaller, I think. So as I've been drawing this, I was thinking like of a dragon and all these other kinds of fun things that I was working through. All I could think about was watching the Last Airbender show, Avatar, The Last Airbender. Oh, hang on, meltdown. Hang on. Excuse me. Come here, please. Mojo, good boy. Come here. I'm telling a story. It's not fun. There you go. Good boy. Just stay. Leave those babies alone. Leave them alone. Okay, quiet. So, it's Mojo. He's made his appearance. Leave them alone, please. Oh, we're having a meltdown in the hall. Hang on. You're okay. So yeah, watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. I watched this show when I went to Sheridan for the first time. My roommates... Hang on, we're in a meltdown. This baby's fine. Don't worry about it. So we... my roommates had me watch it. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And so I watched it 2 or 3 times since then. And now I'm rewatching it again because, like, there's dragons in it, sort of. If you watch the show, you know what I mean. But I would definitely recommend it. It is so much fun. And it's really good. Like, I think a lot of people, I've recommended the show to them. And it's like it was originally like a Nickelodeon cartoon. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to. But I'm like, it's a very well-rounded story. Like, it does start off pretty, like the main character, it's like a little bit like little kiddish. It's got that like kitty laugh that like drives me crazy. But the story itself, like they take a couple episodes to establish it, but like the story itself really comes to a head and it becomes like a very like serious kind of like well-involved series. So I would highly recommend it if you have any interest in checking it out. I think it's on Netflix right now. That's where I'm watching it right now, but who knows where it'll shift to. But definitely, I was thinking about it a lot when I was building this sketch, so I just threw it on the weekend while I was working through it, and I got like halfway through the first season or something. There's only 3 seasons, but they're only like 20-minute episodes, so I would definitely recommend it. It is so much fun, lots of exciting things happening throughout the story, and it really builds up. It's not just little kid stuff. I think people would really like it. Now I'm just throwing all this line art down. I didn't plan anything at all. I was like, I'm going to do different layers and we're going to mess around with them. I don't think we are anymore. All right, let's keep going. Whoops. No, I think I like the face as it is. So I think, like, if anything, I'll be building out with like more stuff, but I'm okay with the shape of the face, I think, for right now. Okay. So yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender, would recommend. Would not recommend the movie. Not good. Don't do it. But definitely the TV show is worth it. And it's all out, like it was out a while ago. I was still at Phil at that point. Mojo, can you leave them alone? Excuse me. No. Quiet. Enough, buddy. You've been so quiet all day. Just leave him alone, okay? So, yeah, would recommend. TV show, not movie. New live action Avatar on Netflix? Are they doing... The movie sucks. Are they doing a live action TV series? Is that a thing? I'm so excited. I'm preparing and I didn't even know. Oh, this changes so many things. Actually, I think I remember sort of hearing about that. I can't remember. Yeah, don't watch the movie. It's not good. M. Night Shyamalan definitely did not help us on that one at all. So like the whole premise of the show, sorry, I just kind of like went into it. The whole premise of the show. Oh, live action TV series. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope this is real. I'm so excited. I hope it's real very soon because I would be stoked for that, and hopefully it goes really well. Although I feel like anybody doing anything with that right now since the movie has the fans to answer to, so I feel like they couldn't really mess it up. Or they shouldn't mess it up. They'd be more careful. So the premise is, the Last Airbender, Avatar is like the master of all the elements. So there's people who can bend earth, air, water, and fire. So like they can manipulate it. And so like earthbenders can bend earth and stuff like that. Waterbenders can make water fly all over and all that kind of stuff. And so it's all these nations kind of working together. And so the Last Airbender, spoiler alert, is the Avatar, and that's who we're following through to, save the world from the Fire Nation, because the Fire Nation got cranky. So, oh man. So it, like I said, it's a cartoon, but it has a really good story to it. And I have some of like the follow-on comics here. I've read some of them, not all of them, but that's usually the case with all my books right now. I have so many to read. Oh man. But yeah, I've been rewatching it, and there's some pretty hilarious stuff and some really good moments, and I've been really enjoying rewatching it. And because I've seen it so many times, it's the perfect thing to kind of throw on while I'm working on something like this. So I'm enjoying rewatching it. I think it's one of my favorite shows. I watch like Friends a lot and everything else, but this is one of my favorites. Come here. No, I'm not going to chase you. And sit here. Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people, Mojo. Easy booger. Okay, we're going to draw a dragon, okay? Good boy. happens if I hold it for this? Oh, no. Something silly. That's what happens. We just looked it up, and it is a thing that's happening. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, man. I'm so excited. Thank you for looking that up. This is fabulous news. Yeah. This is going to be so good. And like I said, after the disappointment that was the movie, I think that they'll be very careful with how they do this one. So, excellent. So I was preparing for this live action, and I didn't even know it with my rewatch. Who knew? Now there's going to be a lot of elements to this dragon, so I'm going to have to be careful with how I do the stained glass business. Because maybe instead of breaking it down, maybe each like scale or something is its own stained glass. This one may be a different shading approach in comparison to the other ones, just because there's so many potential things happening. But we will see what it looks like when we're done with the line art. Ooh, yuck. So carry this tree, I'm still seeing. Okay. Phew. What else? So at this like studio space that I've been talking about that I want to go to, last week I brought some digital work. I brought some like iPad work and stuff like that to work on, but I thought this week I'm going to try and bring some like watercolor or sketching or something like that, because I think it would be a good opportunity for me to kind of, away from the studio, away from home, force myself to like not look at a computer screen for a little bit. So we'll see, because a friend of mine she came with me last week, and hopefully will come with me this week, but we have all these like she has a Cricut at home, so she has all these Cricut plans that we've talked about but haven't really acted on them, so we might do some of those, which would mean some digital work. But I just like an opportunity to watercolor or paint or something would be fun. Just, do something a little different from the norm. But we'll see. I actually went to Stratford this weekend, and they happened to be having like this art, oh shoot, what did they call it? Like an art walk, I guess. And they had all these artists and stuff out in the park. Like I was meeting up with a friend, and we just happened upon this. We were walking through all these fabulous art pieces, and I was completely like inspired. I'm like, I wish I had my sketchbook with me. I want to be drawing everything. It would be so good. So it was a lot of fun. Some of the artists there are pretty fantastic. I'm going to the Adobe event tomorrow night. I can't wait. Oh yeah, that's exciting. I'm so excited to hear about how that goes. I'm not able to make it that way, unfortunately, but oh, that sounds so great. I hope you get a lot out of that, because I love me an Adobe event. Because Max is coming up soon. So excited. Last I checked, there wasn't as much virtual as I've been used to in the past, but I guess that only makes sense when they're trying to get people to go in person. I can't go in person this year, but tentatively trying to plan to go next year, depending on financials, etc. yeah, this Adobe one that you're going to is close to home, which is exciting. Not on the other side of the continent. Although LA is fantastic. I do love LA. So trying to have this kind of like be a little symmetrical, but not quite too symmetrical. I want it to kind of match because like I think it would work that way, but I also don't want it to be too matchy because I don't know. I don't think that's very exciting sometimes. I guess it wouldn't make sense to have that there, so let's do this next. I'm also trying, as I draw this, to plan out the like layering in my head, because I want to make sure that I have the right things in the right place for the right shading opportunities. Don't really love that line that I put there, so let's try again. There we go. There'll be a lot of cleanup to go back in to this afterwards and kind of like make sure everything's connecting and all that kind of stuff, but that's fun. I can do on my own at home. You guys don't need to watch me clean up little lines and stuff, but I'm already very excited with what I'm seeing as far as the line art when it comes together here. Okay, now what did I do here? Some of these messy lines are from the when I mirrored the sketch. So I gotta figure out what I read. Yeah, I can't leave the state. Way too many responsibilities, wife, kid, and granddaughters. That would definitely fill the schedule. That's for sure. And like this, we're talking about Adobe Max here for those of you just tuning in. So yeah, I had the thought too of like I'm gonna go, but it's right around like Canadian Thanksgiving. So it would be this kind of like I would have been able to kind of like be driving past family that could potentially watch Mr. Mojo, and all that kind of stuff. But this like it's in LA, and I love LA, but it is pricey to stay there, and it's pricey to the event itself. And I don't know, I've never been in person before. The pandemic got in the way of what would have been my turn. What I see is my turn. But I wonder about because like in the virtual events, when one session's done, I just move on to the next one, and I just click into the next window and I'm ready to go. But like I wonder about like in person if it's like now I have to run across the street to the next event. I'm sure it's not like if people were missing out on stuff, they wouldn't go. But like but then there's a lot of extra things that you wouldn't get otherwise, like the labs. and all that other kind of stuff that you don't get with the virtual opportunities. So it would be really cool energy to be there in person, I think. I think that would be so much fun to do one year. But this year is not that year for me, unfortunately. Next year. Give me some time to build up some of my product a little bit, build the brand a little bit more, and then I can hues and tones like crazy in LA. Yep, those darn babies, they take up all the schedule, I tell ya. But they're pretty cute, so it's really hard to fight it too bad. Okay, look at his crazy hair. Look at him go. Love it. Looks like a pineapple. Oh no. He's going to be a red dragon now. He's got to be a pineapple dragon. I'm kidding. He's not going to be a pineapple dragon. He's going to be a red dragon. Don't worry. Oh dear. Oh, that's on. Okay. Oh, it's coming together nicely. I should hit save. Let's not make a mess, shall we? All right. So exciting. So when I was doing the research and such to build this dragon, I mostly used a lot of photo reference from Pinterest, which I would strongly recommend. I've said it before, but I will say it again. Use multiple references, please. Don't steal things. It kind of does look like a pineapple dragon. I know. Maybe what I'll do is, like, when I'm done the line art, I'll do one that moves forward with like the stained glass, like in the red that I want it to be, but then also do a pineapple dragon. I'm gonna multi-purpose this line art, or maybe I'll make, because these are gonna be coloring book pages too. Because I'm going to be releasing, spoiler alert, I'm releasing the coloring book again this year, and a new one, and these guys are going to be all in there. But maybe I'll just color one looking like a pineapple. And we're going to do just a quick screenshot. Here's what I'm going to do. No, not Siri. There, we're going to quickly screenshot that so that I can remember that I want this to be a pineapple dragon. That would be fantastic. There's a whole dragon series coming out right now as you were talking, for sure. So yeah, lots and lots of reference from Pinterest. There's so much out there. So I made sure not to be copying any one dragon, but then kind of like, as I built it, like I used some specific photos and to make sure that I had like the basic facial structure in the right spot, like the eyes and the nose and like the teeth. I really wanted his mouth open, so I wanted to make sure that like the teeth were kind of in the right place. But then as I went to different elements, like especially kind of up around the top of the head, I was like, what are other dragons looking like? Like, what are they? Like, do they have horns? Do they have ears? I thought dragons had ears. I couldn't really find any that had ears. Not really big ones anyway. I was thinking like big dopey ears, and that's not a thing apparently. So this guy maybe will add dope ears to him. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, just like using elements from different photos so that I could kind of put things in, jewels and things like that. So it's my dragon and not somebody else's Pinterest copy. But lots of reference for basic frames, because like drawing dragons, like I feel like is one of those things, like there's probably some elements that need to be there. I love dragons so much and would love to draw more, but I haven't really honed that skill yet. So I want to keep practicing and draw some more, because there's a lot of potential here. So I'm very excited. Oh wow, coloring book, dope. Yes, so last year at Christmas, I released a coloring book. I have many children in, like, coloring book age children kind of around my life right now. And so I released almost all the lives last year were building the coloring book, and it sold like crazy. I was so thrilled to see the response. And so I had a few other illustrations that I wanted to put into kind of like more of a grown-up one, like more kind of detailed illustrations. So those are going into this year's coloring book. So come Christmas time, we are going to have 2 coloring books for sale. I've also been in talks with some people at work as a result of my presentation that I did at work for the Women's Employee Resource Group. And they want to talk about doing potentially at some point like a self-care kind of journaling situation, maybe. Coloring book page. That will not be for this year, but something potentially for next year. But yes, you will be seeing some art coming out. Announcements and stuff will be in the fall for pre-orders and all that kind of fun stuff. But yes, you will have 2 coloring book options around Christmas time this year for excellent stocking stuffer ideas. I'm very excited. I've been working on the pages, some of them, because some of the illustrations I'm using were created more recently. So I have the right layering, or I've got it in fresco with the vector brushes. Some are a little bit older, or ones that I did in Photoshop with pixel brushes and such. So those need a little bit more attention, but that's what I'm working on in between other projects and other projects and other projects in time for the year. Usually, like last year, I took some time off in the fall to really kind of bring everything together, and I'm hoping to do the same thing this year. That's super cool. My next project is a children's book. I've never done it. That would be so much fun. I've actually had that recommended to me a couple times because of like my style. Like the if you go onto my Behance, there's a story time series, and I've had some people recommend those to me, like recommend like illustrations for a children's book. I know some people who've done illustrations for children's books, like they haven't written their own, but they have illustrated for them, and it's like a lot of work. But if you could write your own story and be like your own art director, that would be good business. It's always the backgrounds that would get me. There's some pretty epic backgrounds out there, but pretty epic children's books. That would be a really fun project. And I find when you, like, if there's something you want to try, tying it to a project like that is a really good way to kind of like either make it manageable or make it like easier to envision, if that makes sense. To be like, I want it to be a child's book. Then you can kind of like, it gives a little bit of guidance. Like, I don't necessarily need to be told exactly what to draw. I draw these for me, but like having some kind of parameters or something to work to helps me a lot. Like that's why I do like the deadline, like the 2-month illustration, because it pushes me to keep working on it. But like that output of being like, it's going to be a coloring book or a children's book or something that I'm going to be putting out in for Christmas or something gives me that push. Otherwise I would just kind of like start it and put it in the pile of unfinished efforts, because that's what happens around here sometimes. I've already written it. The illustration part I haven't done. Awesome! That's so exciting. To write your own children's book. That's super cool. Yeah, I have not done that. that's actually something else I'd like to kind of like, I'm really short on hobbies and stuff, so I'm kind of looking to fill my time. But like writing and stuff. I used to write a lot when I was growing up. Like I write a lot, like I journal every day kind of thing, like get things out on paper, but like creative writing, I used to do that a lot when I was a kid, and even like reading some of the stuff that like that was saved from when I was in grade school and stuff. I'm like, wow, super creative. Where did this idea come from? So crazy. So it'd be fun to kind of practice that a little bit more, but I'm just kind of like, a little bit busy. For me, the writing part is kind of easy. I'm no writer. Like if you have the right idea, I feel like I'm not going to belittle writers. Like, let's just, don't come for me. I'm a huge reader, so I'm not saying it's something I could do, but I feel like if you had the right idea, especially for something as short as like a children's book, if you have the right idea, start to finish, concept, and then getting those illustrations out, awesome. All you need is the right idea. And if you already got written, perfect. Now you get to draw the magical illustrations. So excited. This is really coming together really nicely. Like I was looking at all these like sketch lines and stuff earlier and was like, I don't know. But this is coming together super nicely. Now what are these? Are these more horns than I did? Maybe those can be like the dopey ears. I feel like I want this dragon to have ears. I don't know why. So let's finish this and let's try the ear situation. I always, for some reason, thought the dragons had ears. I guess they only has like these little, like, it makes sense, like lizardy ones, which would make sense because they're kind of like reptilian. But I don't know. So let's see, because this looks like it's supposed to be a horn. But maybe if I do this, and I know this is part of something else. It's happening. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. Oh, I really needed definitely the live session today. There's some people at work that are being work people, and I just don't have the patience for it. Office is full of blame games and finger pointing, and I just, I just want to draw the pictures. Just let a girl draw the pictures. I don't like that line. So that's why I was very excited for the live tonight. I'm like, I'm going to draw an illustration that makes me happy and hang out with people who are really awesome and cool. So that's the plan. Oh gosh, I'm missing all his teeth. Okay. Whew. All right. Ooh, sleepy guy. Who's a sleepy guy? Careful, you're gonna fall off. Hold still. Oh goodness. Love the dragon ear concept. Me too. It's one of those really weird things that like occurred to me as I was trying this. I'm like, do they not have ears? I thought for sure they did. And it's just like that weird kind of thing that just never really, it would never have occurred to me at all unless I was looking at reference to draw a dragon. It just never occurred to me at all until I sat down to draw this one. But then I also probably like, I gotta look this up before I say anything silly, but yep. So okay, so like cartoon dragons and stuff do have ears, like Toothless and things like that. Okay, so I'm not crazy. It's just like all these like serious dragon illustrations are like, no ears, not a thing. Oh my gosh, guys, I am stoked about this. Okay, we have a few more minutes, and I think we can actually get this kind of basic line art done today. I'll still have to clean it up and do hierarchy and everything else, but this went through a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. So I am going to create a different layer for these elements because they interact so much with things. So I'm going to, because I may treat these a little differently. See, there's one of those circular things I was talking about. No, it won't snap. That's okay. Because I don't know if these will like sit on top of the glass or if they'll be like a solid weld or what they'll be. I really don't like that line. Oh gosh. Okay, one more try. And then we just try it. We just go draw something else. Yep, see, my hand keeps hitting the edge of the iPad there. Okay, let's try this. Oh, not even better. Edge of drafting table. There we go. See, that's why I don't love doing that, because that join looks a little bit silly, but that can be part of my cleanup. And then this one. I could also, if I don't like this, put this down as a single stroke, and it could be kind of like that kind of like weld outline sort of. That's a design element for later. I don't have to worry about that right now. And then we'll do this. Oops. Slippery. There we go. So there are a lot of crossing lines, and that'll be part of the cleanup. Making sure that we get those, excuse me, in the right space. And get like the right layering and stuff like that. But that figuring I will do before next week. All right, and then we're gonna do another layer, because if you want to do, oh dear. Okay, so we want that on its own layer because we want to be able to move it to a place that makes me happy. I am super, super coloring a pineapple dragon. That's going to definitely happen. Bow show. Just trying to make sure there's not really too many tangents, which is very difficult with all of these spikies. Okay, and then we will duplicate this layer. Let's select multiple here. Oops. I'm just going to move this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Select multiple. Okay. Good Lord. This one and this one. And then this. There we go. So I do want to have some of like the circle elements that we have just to kind of connect the series a little bit. But I don't have like bits and pieces that are going to kind of go around this like I did before, like I did for the Kraken and for the dress. And sort of like the circus, like each tent had its own thing. There were some really cool references for dragon eyes that would make a fantastic stained glass element. But I also think that we might be overpowering this. Like I feel like that would be a very different approach, I think. I'm going to start cooking dinner after the stream. We need to chat. I've only told 2 streamers that I want to collab with you on the Moonstar project. We agree your art is amazing. Thank you so much, Odari. You know what? I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to send you a message in the morning if that's okay. I definitely need a tech timeout after a very long day of tech. But I will message you tomorrow with some of my thoughts and ideas, and then we can collaborate together. So enjoy cooking your dinner. I'm actually going to wrap up here really soon. So you're not going to miss much, which is great. Okay, so let's just see. Select this and this. Okay. This is not going to work. Okay, stop this. So what's this? And this. All my sketch layers. All right. So here we go. So lots of cleanup to do. But this is primo awesome. I'm very happy with how this is coming together. Yes. Okay. Oh, guys, I'm so excited. Like when I put the Kraken together, I knew the sketch from the sketch. I was like, this is it. I'm so excited. I did not feel that way about the dragon. But seeing this line art, I'm stoked. So I'm going to spend the rest of the week cleaning this up. Probably adding in my stained glass lines, things like that. And then we're going to get, hopefully get to a point where we can get right to some color next week. Very excited. And if we go really quick, we can do both the pineapple and the red dragon in 2 months. It'll be fabulous. All right, but I'm going to leave it here for now. I'm going to save this. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. I do really appreciate that. Odari, we will chat. Everybody else on the Instagram, Facebook, Behance, YouTube, I said Instagram, right? All of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Keep an eye on all the socials. I'm going to keep posting all my progress. I'm trying to get better at that. But I'm so excited. So please tune in next week, same time, same bat channel. And we're going to do some dragon color. So excited. Have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Okay?